The thing with the Epstein stuff online is just really kind of like, I remember 5 minutes ago, right? For the blue-pilled people on COVID, if you don't care about COVID as much as I do, and if you aren't informed as COVID as much as I am, you want to kill grandma, right? Like you're told this explicitly.
Your kids should be taken away from you, should be banned from society.
Right. And my buddy Lou Perez, who's a great comic, he had a great tweet. He goes, if you don't have COVID, you can't spread COVID. I can't give it to you just because I'm a bad person, right? But that was the mindset. And now there's so much, there's what, 3 million Epstein docs? If you are not as invested as some people, you are a kid toucher, you're covering for them, you want this to happen, you're complicit retroactively somehow.
Yeah.
And I can't make heads or tails of it. I had Luke Rukowski on my show, who's been a conspiracy, I'm not saying in a negative way, conspiracy guy for a very long time. He used to work with Alex. He broke it down. Then I had Michael Tracy on my show, and he said, look, a lot of this hysteria, I don't know who is right, who is wrong, but if I have any kind of skepticism, I am somehow wanting children to be abused. It's insane.
Well, it's like so much of it is cryptic. Like we don't necessarily understand what they were talking about.
Right. And if you say,
like, what's beef jerky?
Here's the thing. It's obviously kids. It's not just that it might be kids or probably, it's obvious. And if you're denying that jerky is obviously kids, you're denying that people hurt children. I'm not denying people hurt children. I'm just saying, what if it's heroin? What if it's weapon? I haven't read all those emails, but the idea that it's definitely literally infants, it seems like I want to see some receipts.
Yeah, it could be many things. I mean, it certainly is a code, which indicates, at least to me, that they were doing something they didn't want people to know about.
And I remember with the Pizzagate stuff, I talked about this in my book, and you're right, I had to get through this through the legal, because there was an email where it's like, oh, the maps or the flags are really angry today. So they're obviously not talking about maps or flags. It was obviously about something. We don't know what.
Right.
But to pretend that there was nothing there is also disingenuous. It's clearly code. But how do we know eating is not code also? Like eating jerky could be like beating off, right? Or it could be killing someone. Right. But the idea that, no, the eating part is true, the jerky part is kids. Frankly, what bothers me is, don't you want to hope that they're not eating kids?
Yeah, well, it's like people just want to know. And if they already were and have been doing it for a long time, that seemed outrageous before a gigantic ring was exposed where there really was a sex trafficker who was compromising people and really was doing it at the behest of at least an intelligence agency, whether it's ours or the Israelis or whoever it is.
Or the Russians.
A lot of people want to say it's the Russians. Well, is there any validity to the Russian
I have
thing?
no idea. The reason I said the Russians is because I was on Drudge, and the headline was Epstein was Russian operative. So it was presented on Drudge, don't take my word for it, as, oh, there's the receipts. This is why I'm saying there's Mossad connections with him, obviously, especially with Ghislaine. CIA is a no-brainer, because why didn't they bag this guy for years?
Right.
I talked to Kurt Metzger about this, and broadly speaking, and he makes the point, like, these are all interconnected. This idea that we're going to separate out, like, the CIA from MI6 is they're buddies with each other. And frankly, that's in many cases a good thing. You want to be working with other countries if you have international trafficking or terrorism or crimes, but I don't know. I can't even finish the sentence.
Right. No, well, you're honest. That's why. Now, the Russian thing, is there anything that makes sense to you to that?
What is
going on here? New documents show Justice Department documents mention Russia thousands of times, Vladimir Putin over 1,000 times, reflecting extensive Russia-related communications and contacts in Epstein's network. Emails, travel records indicate, so there's something to it. Epstein made multiple trips to Russia, obtained business visas, had scouts there recruiting young Russian women for him, of course, similar to his operations elsewhere. The files describe Epstein cultivating ties with Russian political and business elites, acting as a facilitator in deals and introductions, not just sexual encounters. Epstein repeatedly sought a meeting or back-channel communications with President Vladimir Putin, at times suggesting he had advice or insight to offer about dealing with Donald Trump. He had documented ties to at least one former Russian official with a background in the FSB, whom he used to gather information on a woman he claimed was trying to extort his business partners. Well, for sure you're going to have that.
But
You
here's
got
the
a
other thing,
bunch of
people
Russian hookers that you're bringing over there. Some of them are going to try to
Here's
extort
the
you.
thing: Putin was ex-KGB. The
Right.
KGB for decades, for like almost a century, was blackmailing Americans. This is one of the big reasons why you couldn't be. There were restrictions against gays, because if you were gay at a time when it was socially unacceptable, and the Russians found out about it, they flipped you. Because they would sit you down and they'd be like, look, we know we're going to out you, or you're going to play
Right.
ball.
Right.
And in those situations, you're going to play ball. This was a
Right.
huge scandal for a long time.
And that's there's a lot. There's a large percentage, I don't know what the population is, of these undercover gay politicians.
Yeah. But I don't mean
There's a
politicians. I mean the
lot.
bureaucrats, like people working for Johnson and FDR. This was a thing, and they would know.
Yeah.
And they would have honeypots. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be hard at that time.
Right. And for men, it's so easy to get us. Like, God, it must be hard to get women.
Yeah, how would you blackmail a woman?
I mean, well, how do you trick them into fucking some guy they shouldn't be fucking, and why would anybody care? See, no one cares. Like, if a woman has an affair on her husband and has sex with some hot guy on an island, everybody's like, you go, girl.
Yeah, if Stella got her groove back.
Yeah, Stella got her groove back.
How would if I wanted, okay, let's walk through this. If there's a CIA lady and I want to flip her,
Right.
how do I
You got to get her to fall in love with you.
no, or you got to get her husband to cheat. Or go threaten her kids. You got to threaten her kids.
Yeah.
Threaten the kids. But that's a
Yeah.
hard one.
But that's a different thing than
How do you
getting her to
how do you
do something that
blackmail
she
a-
shouldn't have done out of lust.
How do you blackmail a woman?
Yeah, you don't have a. That's probably why a lot of women are in trouble.
Why they are in trouble?
Aren't.
Yeah, they aren't. Yeah.
Right, because like I would imagine you would want them too. There's plenty of women politicians you'd want to compromise. I mean, they did get Stacey Plaskett. She was cooperating with Epstein, going back and forth during Trump's administration. So if people wind up going to trial over this and people wind up getting indicted over this, that could get more interesting because then you remove it from Minnesota and then it becomes this federal court thing. And so then it becomes mainstream public news if they do this correctly.
But
if there is something there.
But the thing is, you have to worry about if the judge is going to be complicit and if the prosecutor is going to be complicit, like, and the media is also.
Right.
You got to kind of fly that arrow through three hoops to hit that
Yeah,
bullseye.
you got to go through the bushes and you got a small hole to
Right.
shoot through. Yeah.
And then to try to make it and then it'd be very easy for Newsom to be like, I'm so glad this got exposed.
Right.
I promise you, as president, this won't happen in America. And if you want to talk corruption, look at Trump and all his sweetheart deals, blah,
Of
blah, blah, blah,
course.
blah. Hillary's the